Hi there, it's Crazy John Carrots with OSH Radio. I'm here with James Nguyen, and he is an artist, and I guess we could call you a comic book creator from all things. You've worked with the story and with the plots and getting your own little. You were doing your own company there for a while, I believe.
Yeah,
You still
true.
do some of
All
that on
true.
your own.
All true. Yep. Yep.
All true. And your main character is Alpha Red.
Correct. Yep. I got the book right here. Alpha Red. Boom.
There we go. And that's one of the new ones with the new company that's putting you out.
Yes. Starcross Comics. I just joined up with them in January. We announced it just probably 2.5 weeks ago that I was going to be with them. I've been checking them out. It was, I've been doing this by myself for decades, probably 20 years, just having fun, you know. And after I got the fifth issue of Alpha Red done, that was like I was in the middle of a campaign, like a political campaign. I was running for office, so I never promoted it. And so when I didn't win, I turned my attention back to comic books, and there's a community waiting there. This online community that I have found that is very welcoming and very helpful. And I'm happy to jump in with both feet. And they took me in. I'm able to help them, and everybody's just very generous with their time and their knowledge. So, and generous like you with your show, bringing me on and allowing me to talk geek out about my character that hopefully more and more people will learn about and order.
Of course, I do have a vested interest because you do have
Yeah,
a Crazy John character in your comic book, actually based on me when I had my long hair years ago.
yeah.
Because
So when
we've known each other for a while now already, and we had a mutual friend that we were just talking about that has passed, and
yeah.
I knew him since the '80s, and you'd worked for him when you were younger, and it's how you get to know people and stuff. But he brought us together. He was having one of his free comic book day with you there doing artwork and doing posters of people,
Mhm.
artwork of people. I have a little photo you did of me as Crazy John as the vampire from when I was doing my vampire TV show that I had done 7 seasons of on a local TV station.
Yep.
Uh,
Do you
but
remember do you remember the first drawing that I did? Do you remember the drawing that I did for your stepson? I don't know if he's still your stepson, but he had me.
he is not. But yeah, I remember you did one for him too. Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember what it was? Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember what it was. Do you remember?
I do, because it was the weirdest thing I had drawn to date. It was a Captain America after he was punched in the face, floating in space.
That is interesting. Yeah, I didn't remember that, but now you say that, I kind of do remember that. I actually have your picture you did up on my wall in my bedroom.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if that's creepy or nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, I'll take it. I
that's right.
appreciate
I
it.
also did get you. Your artwork is fantastic. I don't have a link to show it right now, but you did a portrait of my grandson
Mhm.
as Hercules with the serpents, and with
Mhm.
me, my son and son-in-law in the background.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. No, I mean, I have it somewhere on my computer. If you want me to share it, I can dig
It's
it
up
up.
to you if you want to, but it was very nice. I have the main copy at my house, and I made a
Mhm.
copy for my son-in-law that's hanging at their house.
Yeah.
But it captured us all pretty good.
No, I appreciate that. That was the first time that I had seen you since probably the time that I moved
The long
away from.
hair, yeah.
Yeah. So I remembered you with the long hair and and then you showed me pictures of yourself and you got the beard and you got the short hair and I'm like, who's this guy?
Well, the beard comes and goes, but still though the Crazy John character in your comic book's still okay with the long hair,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. And
But
issue number 6, I mean, he did get his hair chopped in the last issue, so we can shorten that up in issue 6 when he appears.
yeah, I didn't. Well, I think number six a new one now.
I'm working on number 6 right now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I actually, the funny thing about having you do that portrait is I was trying to get Boris to do a portrait,
Oh.
and he did not respond at all. And I thought, all right, who else do I know that I would like? And of course, Fazzetti, or however you say his name, he's passed
Yeah,
away.
he's gone.
Forrest in reply. So who's the next great artist I could think of?
Oh my goodness.
And you came to mind.
Yes, scraping bottom. Scraping bottom. You found me. You found me.
No, I didn't think it was great about all. That's very good, great work you did. And
Yeah. I have it.
so
I have
now,
it up if you wanna. I
oh
don't know
yeah,
if we
show it
can
if you
share a
want. Yeah,
screen.
that's fine.
I don't know how to share a screen. Let me see if I can
It'd
there
be
you
like
go.
me trying to play with my headphones here.
I think I hit the button, share screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. So you have to allow me to share my
Uh,
screen.
I'll try and post it down below, like they say.
Yeah.
Down below, which is where I'll put your links down
Okay.
below.
Yeah.
Links to
Fantastic.
your comic books and Star-Crossed Company. Now, I
Mhm.
did buy some of their other comics to be nice,
Yeah.
which is nice,
Yeah.
and I recommend
Yeah.
people go on there. I will post that down below.
I appreciate it.
So, so I know you had worked for our friend Bob one time at his comic book shop.
Hmm.
What tell us about your history? How did you get into drawing, and how long you've been drawing, and do you have a degree in it? And
Yeah. So I mean, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. So there's not much memory without, from the time I was before kindergarten, I was tracing, and then from tracing to little comic book drawings and cartoons. I watched cartoons and I would try to draw Transformers and GI Joe, and on up to about high school. And I just assumed that I was going to be a traditional artist. I was always an artist, and I recognized that comics existed, but I didn't realize that people drew comics for a living until I was in the 90s was when I was in high school, and that was when Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and all those Marvel guys broke off and did Image. And so right before the Image boom happened, I was picking up their stuff, and it really inspired me to go in that direction. So that's when I thought of drawing comics for a living, and I thought I was gonna get out of high school, move to California, join Jim Lee's studio, and become world famous artist. So that none of that happened. So I found girls and I found booze, and you know, it is what it is.
but you're away from all that
Yeah.
distractions now.
Yep. Yep. So you grow up, you marry a good girl, and she straightens you out, and life is better than you could have ever expected. So
That's great though. I have to admit, one time I applied with them also,
okay.
and they had some jobs opening for different things.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of like I'm sort of like what do you call that? The Renaissance man.
Yeah.
I kind of do a little bit of everything, but I'm not really the master of anything.
I'm
But
finding
I
that
did in the
out.
old days. AOL was like one of the few emails that would let you know if somebody read your email you sent them and stuff.
Okay.
And I purposely sent it to them through AOL.
Hmm.
And I know they read it because I
Yep.
could see that a couple of them read it, but of course
Hmm.
nobody got back to me. And I thought, well, all right, be that way. But
Yeah.
I still read their books, but still it's like, oh, I
Oh,
see how it is,
yeah. Yeah.
you
No,
know.
I applied to Marvel. I applied to DC. I've got a stack of rejection letters that are pretty thick. So, you just try and you try. And so by the time I met Bob, I was just really reading comics, just partying and reading comics. It was like the longest job I had for a long time was working in the comic book store. And I read everything, I didn't buy everything. I was more poor because I worked there than if I had not worked there. But I read everything. He let me read everything. So and so for those 4 years, I was reading stuff, and then I got married, and then I think that's kind of when I had to work more, like work my real job more, because my wife, who was living in New Jersey at the time, moved. Once we got married, then we moved in together, and so we dated long distance until we got married. So she moved in, and I had to go to work. Couldn't just play
Yeah,
anymore.
it's good though. But I mean, I like the fact you put your own stuff together, and that's what you have to do sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of did that with my one TV show. Originally, I was dressing up as a vampire and hosting horror movies, and I
Yeah.
was interviewing bands because that's what I did. And I had a team of people that worked on it,
Hmm.
and things weren't getting done
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
one person was supposed to do this, one person. So I just started doing. I changed it to cartoons I hosted instead of horror movies, because
Hmm.
the guy at the TV station, channel 16 and 17 out of York, it's a public access government station, smaller even than PBS, you know. And he said, we need people to host cartoons. Nobody does that anymore. And
Yeah,
I just started editing and everything myself because I couldn't trust the other people to do the job or get it done.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take like the old saying, you got to take the bull by the horns and
That's right.
own it. Now you did do some game cards though, didn't you? You got a
So,
job doing some game cards.
so I did some work for Upper Deck, but they were still Marvel cards. They were superhero comic cards. I did a series for the Masterworks, which was like all, well, they were both just all Marvel characters, but the Masterpiece or Masterworks 3 was just generic. But then I got to do a Spider-Man No Way Home series, but you weren't allowed to draw the likeness of the people. So they still just wanted you to draw Spider-Man related characters, but only from the comic book. You weren't allowed to use any of the movie likenesses. I don't know why, but that was fun. That was an opportunity to, pad the resume with something legit. So they don't pay you anything. So if you think that you're getting paid big bucks for that kind of stuff, I think I got paid $1 a card for the first round and $8 a card for the second round. And then they give you some cards that you can sell on your own. They call them artist proof. You can sell them for as much as you want. So you can draw, they still have to approve it. But once they approve it, you can sell it for $1 bazillion if you can get $1 bazillion for it. So it makes back for some of the low pay that you get for each card. So
No, that's good though. And then how did you get doing Alpha Red? And tell us a little bit Alpha Red. I know about the character, but tell the people out there listening about him.
sure. So Alpha Red started back in 2011. I had a co-creator back then, and so I was on a spiritual journey, and so whenever I was convicted to add a spiritual element to the character, the other guy, we were like 10 pages in, 10, 16 pages, I think. There's 16 pages of his writing. And I said, let's see if we can add a spiritual, a Christian element to it. And he's like, nah, I don't have time for that. You can go ahead and keep it. So I had to retool everything. And so the story just kind of morphed from a generic superhero. It was going to be more like Captain America. He gets the chip planted into his head. Becomes super strong, super fast, super smart, and he gets a suit and he was just going to save America, against the corrupt politician who's taken over the world, who has this army built behind the backs of our own country. But then so it morphed into him fighting the devil, and so the tagline for Alpha Red is that he's Peter Parker as Captain America on a James Bond adventure. So our main character, his name is Wes. He's kind of like Peter Parker, where he's just a nice guy, but he can't catch a break in his personal life. Then along comes an organization called the Kingdom, and it's like the CIA and MI6 kind of combined. They give him a chip in his brain that makes him super strong, super fast, super smart, and they give him a super car. They give him a super suit, and then he has to save the world from a super villain.
So you're
So
saying
that's
he worked for Elon Musk, is what you say. He works for Elon
hey,
Musk.
yeah. I
Got
should
the
make
chip,
him.
car.
Yeah, yeah. See, all these things came around. Like I was thinking of this stuff way back in 2011. So I like to think that I got there first. I just can't. I don't have the money to make it happen. But Elon beat me to it. So
Now, originally you had a five comic arc, and now you're going beyond that.
yeah. So the Kickstarter that is going on right now is it collects the 5 issues into one trade paperback. So I did that partly because it just kind of makes it more convenient for collectors. It's not um, it's a little bit easier to handle if you want to store it or whatever. And it just helps to bring attention back to Alpha Red, where last year when I got it done, I was not in a position that I could promote it and try to continue the story. So now the campaign is just a way to bring attention back to Alpha Red and just to kind of announce that it is going to continue past the 5 issue story arc, which is the origin story of Alpha Red.
And it does talk about defeating the devil and stuff. And
Mhm.
I always joke though about I find science fiction, horror, and monsters, and when you have that evil versus good plots on TV, it always has to be thrown in with the cop element,
Mm.
and people don't like it unless it has the cop element, which makes it understandable to people when that cop element is thrown in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically we have that. We have the super soldier
Hmm.
fighting against evil, and it's very good. And you're the what's that? What's the comic book company you're with right now? That's called again
Star-Crossed Comics.
Starcrossed. Now that also has a bunch of comics, and they all have Christian stories underlying in them also.
Yeah, there's a handful of them that are Christian, have Christian elements in it. Most of the guys profess to be Christians, but um, not all the titles have a Christian theme in it. They're actually, I'd say 50-50. So some are just regular independent comics where you get a lot of action, just the normal action. There's no cursing, but there's some, violence and whatever. But for me, the draw was working with guys who profess to be Christians so that we can kind of say, hey, you're taking it a little too far. That's not, it's not great for culture, to show some of the things that some of these independent, um, I don't want to rag on independent creators, but
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I think and like I said, I bought your new one through them, and I bought some other ones, and I tell you, it's all done very well.
thank you.
Uh, I know sometimes you have to worry about mentioning that to people, and it might turn them the other way, and then
Yeah,
saying, well, I don't necessarily want to read that then. But let me just say, the people out here listening, it's very well done and it's very good, and I think everybody will enjoy not only your comic but some of the other ones like I've read, and it's very good. I've passed on the annual of is it Black Blossom or
the
something?
Black Blossom. Yep, yep,
That annual is it, it went in a direction I didn't expect it,
yeah.
but that's fine. It was well done,
Hmm.
and I've already passed it on to somebody else that appreciated it and is going to pass it on to people, uh, and they might become readers and of more than one of the titles because of that. So I think
Yeah,
it's I'm passing it on to people because I think it is good and well written,
yeah. No, I
and
appreciate it. Yeah, the
and
the faith element is just, I mean, it's just an element of the story.
right.
It's not the focus of the story. It's a bigger element in some of our stories than others, but it's just not anti-Christian. I think there's a lot of anti-Christian stuff out
It's
there.
not anti-Christian. It's not getting carried away with things like
Yeah.
sometimes we do in this society.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
think it's very good, and I think it takes a very good direction, and they're very enjoyable. I just wanted to say that, but I wanted to also let people know it's not. It's done in a good way, and it's
Yeah.
enjoyable, and it's good in this day and age because sometimes I think people, especially with social media, take the easy shock value
Mhm.
to push things,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
not what this is. This is action adventure, the
Hmm.
normal good versus evil,
Yep.
which if you go down to it is always what action is usually about. One
Yep.
side's supposed to be the good side, one side's supposed to be bad side.
Hmm.
And in this circumstance, you can definitely tell who's the good and who's the bad.
Yeah.
Although with sometimes in life and reality, it's sometimes that's hard.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
so that's nice and refreshing about it. So so now you're working on a second arc. You did the
Hmm.
five. How many do you look at maybe going to this time?
So this is moving forward. It's just going to be one shots, like self-containing stories, but it'll move the character forward. But each issue will be self-containing. So I'm planning a 40 page. It'll be thicker. It'll be almost two comics together. But the story will be self-contained, so you're not waiting for the story to finish. Like you'll get a whole story, and I think it's a really good, fun story, and it's going to be more fun. I don't want to say more fun, but it's going to continue the fun aspect of it. I'm going to lean a little bit harder into some of the inspiration of it being a little James Bondish, a little bit just your fun and entertaining um, comics, and not taking it so seriously and having it be so realistic or dark or whatever. It's just they're on an adventure. There's a bad guy. They try to fight the bad guy. The bad guy gets the best of them. They regroup. They come back. They save the day. That's um, and at the same time, you find out a little bit more about Alpha Red and some of the things that I don't want to reveal too much, but you get to know why he was chosen to be the chip bearer. Like you don't get that in this story arc, this first 5 issues. He's just kind of chosen. He is like randomly, but it's not as random as it appears.
It was good, I thought, the first 5 arc, and you did leave it at the end kind of with a cliffhanger that you
Mhm.
knew it wasn't. Oh, I don't want to say too much. You don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen, so hopefully you follow up on that, and then in this all the standalones also.
Yep,
You
it'll
know,
move closer to more of a conclusion there. It doesn't have to. I guess it doesn't have to end because it's the devil. The devil is going to be around until God says it's done. It's time for everything to
right?
end. So
It's
he's
one of
never
those
gonna.
things I'm not sure there's a conclusion to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Not in comics, anyways. We can't shut the door on it in comics.
maybe not in real life either. So
No,
we'll have
exactly,
to see how that
exactly.
happens too. So,
Mhm.
any other projects you've been working off other than your real life, of course? And sorry
Yeah,
about the election.
yeah, no, no. It's I'm a believer, so it's all in God's hands, and I did what I felt like I was being called to do. And so I don't regret it at all, and I really learned a lot. I have a better appreciation for our country and the process that is put in place. We do need to step in, though. We do need to awaken, like normal people just need to be awakened to get involved because the people who are involved don't always have our best interest in mind. We're busy living and doing life. That's their life is
Sometimes they're interested in their own.
it's money and power. That's what it feels like. And if you're not on board with them, they throw you right under the bus. And I got thrown right under the bus. I got stories, and they're not good. They're not good. Yeah, but yeah, no,
It
that's
took me there for a second, but
no.
yeah, I tell
So,
you, I had run for I was a preliminary presidential candidate back in 2020
oh, really?
for the Transhumanist Party, which is a scientific one, the
Okay.
party,
I didn't
and that
realize
was
that you
interesting.
guys were organized. How
That was
organized is
interesting.
the
I went up
trans?
to I went up to a debate with 18 different people up in Chicago and stuff, and
Oh, wow.
the new guy that's running this year, Tom Ross, is very good. But so I had that experience, and then I didn't get picked as their leader that time. I was just in the preliminaries, but I had to go
Mhm.
through debates and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to run for a local office when I had my stroke 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And actually, I was out. I was out getting my signatures while
hmm
I was having losing feeling and use of my left side. So that was kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
you got to go out and get your signatures.
Yeah. So you know the process of getting signatures and how hard it is to kind of win people's hearts and minds. You're persuading them that your ideas are better, and so many people are just they're on autopilot. They're not thinking about it. They just assume somebody smart who has the right motivations are getting elected, and we all know that they're not. It's not the case.
Sometimes I feel bad, and I always say this about sports and stuff too. My own experience.
hmm
A lot of times, it isn't the best people that get there.
No, no.
Sometimes things happen in their personal life, in their health life, and they don't make it, or they don't have the connections, and it doesn't work. But back to you with your art.
Yeah.
Your art is great. What any other future projects you're thinking about?
So being I work full time, so I want
Sorry
to,
about
yeah, I want to make sure that I focus in on creating new Alpha Red. Like if I want people to buy into Alpha Red, I want Alpha Red to be a priority for me. So I will pick up commissions every now and again, but other than doing that, I don't have any plans on starting new projects. There's opportunities with Starcross Comics to kind of cross-populate some of the characters to kind of uh, get attention, their fans, meet my fans if we do a crossover. And that sounds all well and good, but I don't have like unlimited time So I want to make sure that Alpha Red #6 is the priority. And if I can happen to get Alpha Red #6 done before my allotted time by the end of October, and then yeah, we'll throw in something else. But until I get Alpha Red #6 kind of on the ground, that's my there's nothing else.
I think you did a couple variant covers though too, didn't you, for some other
Yeah,
artists,
yeah.
for other
So
comics?
so with Starcross, I did like Black Blossom. So I went ahead and did a cover, a variant cover for #1 that I'm offering on the campaign as an add-on.
I
So
will
it's
have.
just yeah, yeah, no, that'd be awesome. So that is it's the #1 issue, but it's just with my cover. It's just to kind of help. It's one of the ones that I like the most, and so I don't want to disparage the other guys. It's one of the first ones that I've read. So and I know that Evan is a believer. He works for Focus on the Family, so he's and he's the most prolific writer of the group. He has so much. He writes most of the stuff.
I have to admit, like I said, I have the annual, and it went in a direction I didn't expect it for
Hmm.
a comic book. But the topic, I don't want to tell people what it is, uh, was very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done, I thought. I don't know what you read the annual.
I have not gotten to the annual. I've read the first 2 or 3 issues of Black Blossom, and it's very
I
good.
recommend it. It's very well done, and it is well done. And I agree with you. He's a good prolific writer. How about that? That is a good
Yeah.
way when you said that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So he writes a bunch of the comics from Starcross, and for other Christian, there's another comic company out there, Brock Comics, that he writes some stuff for them too. So he's kind of all over the place, and
That's,
not in a bad way.
I'm glad that you found a company that was interested in you and you joined with, because I liked what you did individually, but it's nice to have a team working with you.
Yeah, for sure. And there's all kinds of benefits to, sharing the stuff with other guys, and they get excited, so I get excited, and you know, it's good.
So I'm going to put all your information down below. I'll put your now you have an Alpha Red website, right?
Yep. So I can just point it to wherever. So alpharedcomic.com right now will take you to my Kickstarter campaign, but typically it's pointed over to my store where you can pick up the comics. So I'm not I don't know what to do with websites. I don't know how to do them. I don't know how to make shopping carts where you put stuff in. That was part of the reason why I went with Starcross, because they can print it up and it makes it much easier. But it'll point to Alpha Red stuff. So if you stick with alpharedcomic.com, check back every couple of months, and it'll point you to the latest stuff.
And I'll put that down below. And now people also can contact you if they want. I know you said you weren't doing a lot, but some people
Yeah,
could contact you if
sure.
they want you to do some artwork for them.
Yep, yep. You can go to alpharedcomic@gmail.com. That's my new Gmail. I know you have a different Gmail for me, I think. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
you
I
have.
think I have an older one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
I just usually get a hold of you through Messenger.
Messenger. Yeah. So
But
I'm old school. I can't do other social media. So Facebook is where I'm at. You can find me on
yeah,
Facebook.
I'm still on Facebook, and some of the other new ones, I hate to say it, is I know a lot of times scammers try to get you on some of the other ones
Yeah.
to give you deals, and yeah, the deals are you want my money. But uh but well, thanks for being with us today. Anything else you wanted to tell people in closing today?
No, that's really it. Hopefully you'll slide over to Kickstarter and pick up Alpha Red Volume 1, the collection of issues 1 through 5. And that's what I'm working on right now. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity here to talk about Alpha Red and reminisce about Cosmic Comics and Bob and all the good
Yeah,
times.
it's a pity though, but that's,
Yeah.
things, topics for life and comic books, I guess. It's life.
Yeah.
We get older and people do pass, and you wish they didn't. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad we had the time to have him in our life.
Amen. Yep.
You
For
know.
sure. For sure.
But I will get this up probably later tonight, and then I will tell you, and I will post it on Facebook too, and we'll get some people watching, learn about you, and hopefully going to your campaign,
Yep.
getting you some money for your new projects, and also they get some great stuff. So
Yep.
it's well worth it to help with your campaign because they're going to get some great products that they're going to very much enjoy. The comic books. I think do you still have some T-shirts out there and stuff
Yep.
too?
I got some T-shirts. You want to see some T-shirts? I got the hat. You can order a hat, and you can order a T-shirt.
Well, that one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this is so the one I'm
Looks
wearing.
familiar, James. The position on that T-shirt looks familiar.
Yeah.
Do you
So
have one of him picking up a car too?
I do not. So the homage covers that I went with, I just went with I guess we didn't talk about it, but some of the rewards are alternate covers to issues 1 through 5. So this is an homage to Spider-Man #1 by Todd McFarlane. This is Amazing Spider-Man 316, Todd McFarlane cover. This was a Amazing Spider-Man 300, Todd McFarlane cover. There's a theme there. And then there's #4 is Amazing Fantasy #15, first appearance of Spider-Man. And then for issue #5, I used Amazing Spider-Man #129, first appearance of the Punisher. This is so. But
I
yeah,
like
some
that.
funny
I know
collectibles.
I just joked about the car one because you always see him making plagiarizing the Superman comic,
Oh yeah,
cover.
yeah.
So
That was one of
he did
the
the
ones that I was
Spider.
gonna do. Yeah, no, I was gonna do the Superman one, but I had already kind of done it as a sketch cover for a Superman fan, and so I went with a Spider-Man theme this time. So
Well,
maybe
I like
ever,
that though.
yeah,
Now I have a T-shirt just like your hoodie there. That's what I
yeah,
have.
yep. So that's I mean, I didn't offer it this time because I didn't know if people would want it, but yeah, that's the new one this year. This time is
Well,
the
I'll let you
homage.
go, James, and thank you for being with us. And I hope people get out there and help you with your campaign
Yep.
and get your comic book running and or keep backing you, not only your comic books, but you with life and all your projects.
I appreciate it. Thank you, John.